What's the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. We are getting into the 2024 New York Jets undrafted free agent class, and there still could be some changes that happen, but I think these essentially will be the 17 or so guys that we carry through until we start making final cuts. So, with that said, we started off our series with Pee Wee Jarrett, the quarterback who didn't make it out of rookie minicamp, but we are going on to an exciting player, a weapon that was the beneficiary of a lot of the explosive plays that came out of rookie minicamp due to Pee Wee Jarrett's strong arm. And this is Tyler Harrell out of Louisville, who ended up finishing his career with Alabama, I believe. No, sorry, he finished his final year with Miami, so we'll talk through it. But he's coming in at 6 foot, 200 pounds. I think he generally plays a little closer to 193-ish, but nonetheless bulked up for the offseason, coming in around 200. His calling card is speed. He ran a 4.29 40-yard dash at his pro day. But I did see an interesting tidbit that said that the laser time might have reflected something in regards to a 4.24 to a 4.29 mark. But hand timed, they had him clocked as low as 4.19. So we are absolutely talking about blazing speed. He wasn't able to make it to the combine, but this was a guy that many expected could have also broken the record for the 40-yard dash time. Made Bruce Feldman's freak list due to his natural speed. We've heard that he's hit 24 miles per hour on the GPS during his time with Louisville while they were going through tracking data. Former 4-star recruit coming out of high school, and the speed comes from a track background, right? He won 2 championships for track and field, so you know how elite of a prospect this guy is when it comes to utilizing his natural athleticism. And to be honest, you see it show up all over his tape, regardless of if he's making catches or not. This just happens to be one of those guys that if you're sending him deep, opponents are going to need to make sure they're keeping an eye on him, double covering or using too high shell safety looks in most cases just to make sure that they don't get burned. Had a pretty decent career at Louisville, right? This wasn't a guy that, was going to fly on radars as a, first round pick or a day 2 selection per se, but his stock at one point was as high as being a projected 3rd to 4th round candidate in 2022. So there is strong potential that this guy is more than just a priority free agent for the New York Jets. Take a look at his Louisville career. He really was able to finally make a strong showing in 2021 where, and this is just on 18 catches, I believe, but he averaged 29.1 yards per reception. Absolutely ridiculous. Didn't eclipse the 600-yard mark and didn't really make a big splash at any point when he transferred to Alabama the following year in 2022, where he was marred by a foot injury and couldn't really see the field until late in the season anyways, and then wasn't able to really make a mark, and then transferring to Miami, where he also didn't really do anything productive. I think it was something like 6 catches for 60 or 40, somewhere between 45 and 60 or so odd yards. So you're not talking about a proficient guy. This isn't a volume receiver type of player. This is a guy that can get you Gabe Davis-like production, right? And I think that's kind of the ideal pro comp that I have in mind for a guy like Tyler Harrell if he can make an NFL roster where you may see games, where he puts up 120 yards on 2 or 3 catches and 2 touchdowns, and you may see him fade out for 6, 7, 8 game stretches just because he doesn't have a very heavy bag. In terms of route running, finesse, and different things of that nature we'll get into. But he has shown to be able to beat some top ACC cornerbacks. Mario Goodrich, Darian Chestnut, and Garrett Williams are just a couple of the names that you can see on tape him being able to beat out. I won't necessarily say dominate, but winning reps is winning reps. And when you take a look at his game film, dangerous open field ability, and this is just by nature, by virtue of the speed that he's going to bring, right? This is the reason why we've seen the Jets throughout history take shots on the Stephen Hills and the Devin Smiths of the world, because that's an element you can always utilize, right? It may not show up on the stat sheet for those guys that don't bring the other qualities and other techniques and skill sets that you're looking for to combine with speed, but they do always impact a defense. Explodes through any sliver of daylight in traffic, again, mostly based on his speed. Has a great first step. You can see the vertical route prowess, right? It's not him just necessarily running fast down the field. He understands how to stack defenders and make sure that he's available for those wide open catches once he gets 30, 40, 50 yards out. He's risen to the occasion in clutch moments, and that's littered throughout his film. Many of of the few catches he's had over his career, many of the highlight ones are coming in pivotal moments. You can take a look at the 75-yard touchdown that he had versus Florida State as a prime example. But there are going to be drawbacks here. He's never produced at an elite level. He's never been a consistent catcher of the football, and that's just because he doesn't seem like coaching staffs have really trusted him enough to put him as a top option within the offense. He's more speedy than agile, so one of the things that I was wanting more of on the film was he doesn't possess or really have any dynamic open field ability. There's not really, I wouldn't say there's anything lacking in terms of hip mobility or not being that fluid. He just doesn't seem like a guy that is accustomed to doing the basics, when it comes to jukes. Stop and go is great, but there's not a lot of variety in how he can impact manipulating a defender in front of him outside of just outrunning them. And he's not much of a slot threat. Hasn't been presented a ton of opportunities there. And when he hasn't really made the most of them. You would expect a slot guy that has speed like that, where he's not getting pressed right at the line of scrimmage, to be able to find easy open plays. But again, the offenses, the coaching staffs he's been surrounded have not manufactured touches for him. And when he has, it's been him, hit and go routes and different things of that nature. So I am excited seeing what he was able to do in minicamp, or I should say hearing about it anyways. I haven't seen any game film come out about it, but the Pee Wee Jarrett to Tyler Harrell connection was definitely very lively. I think he caught 2 or 3 different balls I saw over 50 to 60 plus yards, which makes a ton of sense for both of those guys. So we'll see. This could be a developmental guy on the back burner if he can find his way onto special teams, where if you could develop anything further with him, right? He needs more route refinement in the intermediate level of the field. If he becomes more nuanced there, I can see him securing 2 or 3 balls every game outside of whatever he may get deep. This is a guy that could be a potential steal for you. Again, speed kills. Everybody would love to have it. We'll see. But there's untapped potential, right? Yeah, obviously he fell off from being a projected 3rd to 4th rounder, but there's enough to love what you can see and try to get out of this guy. It just depends on, can he put in the work and get it done. So let me know what you guys think of Tyler Harrell. How likely is it that he makes this Jets roster, right, as a wide receiver anyways? I think it's unlikely with the resources we poured in there. It's going to be a lot of competition, but stranger things have happened. Either way, let me know and I'll catch you guys again. Peace.